What is going on, you guys? It's your boy, Artie, Executive Director of Film. It's Art. Today we're taking a look at Drake Maye, quarterback from the University of North Carolina. And I got a bone to pick with the entire NFL media in this video. I got a serious bone to pick because people have been trying to act like this kid is a bum. They've been trying to act like people like J.J. McCarthy, Bo Nix, Michael Penix are better than this guy. Jaden Daniels are better than this guy, and they are not. And I hope that this video really resonates with anyone that believes that. Because I really do not understand the rhetoric. I don't understand how a 6'5 quarterback who's almost 230 pounds, with this amount of arm talent, with this amount of mobility, and with this amount of playmaking, can be considered any less than quarterback 3 in this draft. Seriously. Like, Drake Maye, when it comes to what you look for in a quarterback, he has it all. The 6'4 height, the 230 pounds, the ability to make any throw on the field, right? Like any throw. Does he have his really, really bad misses due to mechanics? Yes. But a lot of his quote-unquote missed passes, especially this season, were drop passes. So I think there is a fine difference between a quarterback simply cannot play and they need to sit a year, and a quarterback who basically played 2 seasons with lackluster talent on the offensive line and in the receiving positions. The 2 receivers that Drake Maye had to throw to were Devontae Walker this season and Josh Downs last year. You can make the argument for Bryson Nesbitt, the tight end, but like other than that, what did Drake Maye have? Right? What was Drake Maye working with? You guys are gonna see as we get later into the tape. Drake Maye was throwing the ball with people all around his ankles, all in his face, still completing passes, still getting passes into catchable positions. So we're going to unpack that and more in this video. A quick look as we look at throws inside the numbers. Quick look at Drake Maye's scouting report. I already mentioned the great size for position. He's a very, very good athlete. We'll definitely go over that athleticism and how that factors into my comp for him later on. Again, elite arm talent. Also really good at manipulating the pocket, buying time to make plays with his arm or his legs. Again, the weaknesses, definitely mechanics and footwork. The footwork at times, you guys, can be very, very bad. Not even gonna lie. But it's a twofold problem. Some of it is, yes, he just has pure bad mechanics, bad footwork. But some of it is coping mechanisms for dealing with improper protection, dealing with bad line play, dealing with receivers taking 5 ever to get open. So it's a lot. And then, the accuracy. The accuracy is going to be the big hang up for a lot of NFL evaluators, because you can have the biggest arm, but if you're not accurate with the ball, it really doesn't matter, right? So that's basically the report for Drake Maye. Let's dive into the tape here. When you look at Drake Maye on film, you really see a player who's got that long delivery, right? Like, look at how on this play against Minnesota, he's got that long wind-up, right? It takes him a while to get the ball out there. It's not a slow release. I just think bruh just has really long arms and a long torso. So, it takes a while at times to get that ball out. But when he does, when he's in rhythm, when he's kept clean, the release is good, right? The release is good. It can be compact. It can get all over the place at times. The arm can chicken wing out a little bit. But when he has, when he's kept clean, when he has time, the release is pretty good, right? Mechanically wise. You also see the ability on these, throws over the middle of him to be able to drive the ball, right? the key determining factor for me as far as arm strength is, can a player not only, throw it deep or throw it outside the numbers, but can you drive the football? Can you get the ball a little bit quicker to where it needs to be? And as you guys are seeing, Drake Maye can absolutely do that. The ability to fire the football with some heat behind it, with some smoke behind it, is a very important, factor in, your ability to make those throws in the intermediate and especially, downfield, because at times you might not have time to, sit back and load it up. You might have to let it go a little earlier than you want to. You might have to let it go at a different angle than you want to. And Drake Maye can do all of those things. Really like these two throws right here, the one against Minnesota and this one against App State, because these are kind of what you call, like, these aren't seam balls, but they're kind of like mini seam balls, right? Because you have to throw the ball down and away from the safety so that way they just undercut it and intercept it, right? You see the way he kind of threw that ball there? It was like it wasn't high enough to where the guy could undercut it, but it also wasn't low enough for the underneath guy to overcut it and take it from him that way. So really, really good example of, just the ability of Drake Maye here to throw the football. Also like how, when it comes to like the play action, Drake Maye really does a great job of keeping his eyes, downfield, right? When it comes to play action, some quarterbacks, when they get back there, they're trying to rush it. They're trying to, hurry up and do the play action fakes that can get their head around. Drake Maye, now there are some times, again, because he did not have the best line, where he does kind of rush it, but you love how poised he is, most of the time in the pocket. And when it comes to throws like this, these are the type of throws that I'll go ahead and give half of my comp for Drake Maye right now. These are the kind of throws that remind me of like Justin Herbert. Those just throws where you can just layer the ball, over defenders' heads casually. You know what I'm saying? Like, that part reminds me a little bit of Justin Herbert there. The playmaking within the pocket is something that, NFL teams, they really covet, right? Because obviously, a lot of this game is improvisational. But if you can improvise within the pocket, that shows, a level of, control, right? That shows that you have the ability to, no matter what's going on, you can stay in a central area and still make something happen. Because every time you're not going to be able to escape to your left or your right? Sometimes you're going to have to sit in the pocket. You're going to have to, move within the pocket, maneuver within the pocket. During Caleb Williams' film session, I had a similar, section to this. And one thing I liked about Caleb that Drake has too, is they have the ability to, even while there's stuff going on, even while, there's chaos around them, within the pocket, they can still remain, eyes downfield, remain a passer, right? They're not just like and no shade to Jaden Daniels. They're not like a Jaden Daniels to where the moment they see pressure, they're looking to take off for a 50-yard run. They're still trying to remain passers, even when there's pressure on them, and even when there's chaos going on at their feet, people grabbing at their arms. That's what separates, in my opinion, Caleb Williams and Drake Maye from the rest of the quarterbacks in this class. You can argue Bo Nix has a little bit of it too, and slightly a little bit of J.J. McCarthy. But Drake Maye and Caleb Williams are the quarterbacks in this class that, when it comes to things like this, remaining a passer in the pocket, they really can thrive, because with Caleb, he just has the elite elusiveness and awareness. And with Drake Maye, he has the physical strength. Like, you see how he's able to escape a ankle tackle there and make the throw, when he's rolling out a little bit there? Like, it's not easy to do this. Same thing here, right? Faces a little bit of pressure on this play against NC State, but you see that quick step up in the pocket, keep the eyes downfield, and make an accurate throw, right? That's not something that, is necessarily easy to do. Let's get to the throwing on the move portion. This is probably one of my favorite portions of, scouting quarterbacks to really look at, because, again, the league has changed. The day of, Phillip Rivers and Peyton Manning's, and even though people love him, Tom Brady's are done. Right? If you're a standing duck quarterback, unless you have Tom Brady, elite, pocket footwork and mechanics and all of that, it's done. You need to be able to extend plays. You need to be able to throw on the move. And Drake Maye, again, like Caleb Williams, excels at that. Now, there are other quarterbacks in this class that are really good at throwing on the move, like a Bo Nix, Michael Penix a little bit, JJ McCarthy a little bit too. But Drake Maye, what makes his ability to throw on the move so special, as you guys will see here, is he can be outside the pocket and he can still make those throws outside the numbers, right? Like, it's an easier throw than it is from the pocket, throwing outside the numbers, but he has that ability to, again, like I said earlier, to drive that football, right? He can drive that football, and more impressively, his ability to change arm angles, like you see on this play against South Carolina, right? He can change his arm angle, he can drop it down, he can float it up. It doesn't really matter. Like, Drake Maye is really, really confident in his arm, sometimes too confident, but you see the raw ability to just throw the football, right? Like, what I don't get about the Drake Maye haters, the people, I'm not gonna give anybody free clout in this video, okay? You guys can pretty much tell who I'm talking about by just, doing a little bit of legwork. The people that say Drake Maye is like a Christian Hackenberg, or like a, talented project, what I don't understand is, how can you say that when you literally just seen the other half of this comp, Josh Allen, have similar plays on tape in college, and beyond that, play at a less significant school with less exposure, and beyond all of that, have success in the NFL? How? I mean, it's unfathomable. Like, did you not learn? It's the same thing with Caleb Williams. Did you guys not learn from the mistakes of scouting Patrick Mahomes? Oh, he bails from clean pockets. He doesn't know how to play within structure. The man has won 3 Super Bowls in 5 years. He's led his team to a Super Bowl in 4 of his 6 years in NFL, and he's won 3 of them. Like, what are we talking about? Also, this is just amazing athleticism, by the way, by Drake Maye. He's a nut for even trying to hurdle that dude. But again, like, I just don't understand with the Drake Maye detractors. Like, I get it, prospect fatigue is real. You want to talk about other people, but when you watch this tape, I get it. There is a lot of good tape and bad tape that I left out. But I mean, gosh dang, it's 42. You guys are getting 42 minutes, 40 minutes basically of film from me. So I obviously took my time to, curate this and make it, to where you guys saw the good and the bad, because there's a lot of both. But at the same time, I really want this video to come off as a visual aid to all the people who are saying that, oh, Drake Maye is, he needs a year to, learn the game. No, he doesn't. No, he does not. If Anthony Richardson can have the tape that he had last year, and you're drafted 4th overall and start having success he had, the same thing can happen with Drake Maye. You put Drake Maye with Kevin O'Connell in Minnesota, and you see what these conversations are like next year. You see. So, but off the soapbox again for right now. Back to the tape. Drake Maye is a fantastic guy. First of all, his brother, Luke Maye, played at University of North Carolina for 4 years and was a just legendary player there. Right? So he comes from a family of basketball players. His father was the quarterback of North Carolina when he went to school there. So he decided to follow his father and play football. Don't get me wrong, he can absolutely hoop. I saw a video of him playing the other day. He had like 8 threes in the game. So he can hoop as well. But that basketball background helps him a lot, especially with playing quarterback, because when you think of quarterback is very much similar to playing point guard, right? You're a distributor of the football. You're passing the ball to the right people at the right time, making the smart decisions, making the game-winning decisions, right? And Drake Maye has proven to, at times, I say at times because there's a lengthy portion of the film system. We're going to talk about the bad with Drake Maye. But at times he's proven to, be dependable when it comes to making the right decisions with the football. But overall, as an athlete, Drake Maye, it's something that you can do the RPO things, right? You can do the read option things, right? Like, the threat of him running is greater than, I believe he's getting credit for. Like, is Jaden Daniels in a pinch a better athlete than Drake Maye? Yes. But if you ask me who I would rather want running RPOs and running quarterback powers and, read options with, I'm taking Drake Maye. And it's not biased because I have Drake Maye over Jaden Daniels. It's because I would rather the player who likes to slide, who learned from his lesson last year of taking unnecessary hits, to potentially slide and take those hits in the NFL. Not the person who literally will run into a brick wall and get literally sent back 3 yards. Like, it's just baffling. It's just baffling, this Drake Maye discourse that we're seeing in the media now. It's just baffling. But, overall, again, Drake Maye is a very, very good athlete. I honestly think that at the next level, if he decides to add strength, he can even be a better athlete. Not like fast or anything, but he can just start throwing his weight around, right? As you guys are seeing, like, he moves very fluid. And this year, again, he learned how to slide. Last year on the 2022 tape, and specifically when I was watching last summer, I was like, bro, you got to learn to slide. Like, he tried to hurdle like 4 people last year. I believe this year he only tried to hurdle maybe 1, right? The one clip against Duke. So, for Drake Maye, it's just, it's really impressive, at that size to be able to move the way he moves. Like, again, as far as the athleticism goes, I'd put him like 3rd behind, Caleb and obviously Jaden Daniels. But I truly believe that, at the next level, Drake Maye has another level that this athleticism can, go to, due to the fact that he is still very young. He still is very much so growing into his man body. And also, too, again, you also have to look at the fact that Drake Maye is a quarterback who, doesn't really have a lot of experience, playing the game, right? Like, Drake Maye, he played his true redshirt sophomore year, right? And then right after that, this season came. So he's only really got 2 years of experience under his belt. Now, you can say the same thing for, Caleb Williams, I guess. He played some his freshman year. Jaden Daniels as well, even though he played, Arizona State beforehand. But he's still a young player. He's still developing. And I think that's the difference in the rhetoric that I use on Drake Maye and other people use, right? When it comes to Drake Maye, the rhetoric is he's a talented project. He's talented, but he's not a project. He's talented, but still developing. Like, I want to go back to the Anthony Richardson point as we let the tape run a little bit. No one last year, during the regular season, ever was like, Anthony Richardson doesn't look ready for the league. I know, not being hypocritical, I know I was one who thought Anthony Richardson needed to sit a year, but I learned my lesson. Right? I learned my lesson. Anthony Richardson did not need to sit a year. Right? All he really needed was a coordinator who could best game plan for him, right? And that's all Drake Maye needs. All Drake Maye really needs would be, as we watch Drake Maye pump the football just to end the athleticism portion. If you thought that Drake Maye wasn't a good athlete, I mean, look at him punting the football. Like, stop it. I literally just put this in here because I just thought that was so cool to watch a quarterback punt the football. Like, you understand how athletic you have to be? Like, crazy. But let's get into it, right? Let's get into it. Talented project. Again, I wouldn't say project. I would say talented and still developing. Because, like all these quarterbacks are, right? But Drake Maye has some serious, like, you obviously are seeing, the missed throws, the accuracy, right? And, a lot of the misses are kind of ones where I just scratch my head and like, bro, what are you doing here? Right? This is 13 personnel. 81 Copenhagen running a little sluggo route and just airmails it. He's wide open. Just airmails it. Right? Airmails it. Same thing here. You have Tez Walker cutting underneath on a dig, about 15-yard dig. Just shoot it over his head. Like, when he overthrows, like, he really overthrows. And, some of it is, just putting too much fire on the ball, that ability to put that heat behind, the throws is a blessing and a curse. But then some of it is just, bad mechanics, right? Just bad footwork and bad passing mechanics overall, right? Like, on this throw, he just basically throws the receiver out of bounds. And, again, we said a lot of these things about Josh Allen. I wasn't scouting then, but I did go back and, watch some breakdowns of tape on him on YouTube or whatever, so I kind of understand, where people were coming from at the time. But, the misses from Drake Maye are, they're I'm not gonna lie, they're pretty bad. Right, because a lot of them, as we'll see a little bit later, are contributed to pressure, people in his face and everything. But these first couple throws right here are just flat out misses. They're just flat out, overthrows, flat out, underthrows, and they're gonna happen, right? But there are times where Drake Maye just really does not see the field in the way that you would want your NFL franchise quarterback to, right? Like, this throw is a really good example. Throwing between three people, right? Here again, trying to extend a play, throwing into, triple coverage. Like, on your outlet there, you're trying to, make a play. I get it, right? You're trying to make a play. You're trying to, be creative and create because, there's pressure. Just two people coming on blocked off the line. But again, like, the throw was just not there. You don't have to throw that. Similar thing here, you're trying to make a play. You're motioning your receiver to come up with hand signal, but you throw the ball way too far inside. Right? I watched this game live. When I saw this pick, I was like, come on, Drake, what are you doing? That's high school stuff. Right? That's high school stuff. The same way I'm willing to give, Drake Maye love and adoration and praise, I'm also willing to give criticism. This ball was just way too low. I love this throw. As you guys saw earlier, this throw has been made by Drake Maye multiple times in multiple games. But on this particular instance, he just short-armed it. Right? Short arms it, did not put enough air on the ball, and it's a pick because of it. Same thing here, right? Looking for Tez Walker again, just overshoots him by like 8 yards. Like over top of his head, at least 8 yards, maybe 10. Like, it's just really, really tough, as an evaluator. Again, he's got a little bit of pressure on him, but then that ball's just too high. There's too many bodies around Tez Walker there. If you're going to throw that ball, throw it a little bit lower. But I also understand, shouldn't have thrown to Tej Walker, because if you throw it lower, it might have been still been a pick. So just a bad decision. Here, just holding on to the ball a little bit too long. You see someone's coming there, just get rid of the ball. Don't put it in the field of play. Throw it out of bounds. And then here, just, again, short arm, not really reading the defense as well. Nate Wiggins, that was probably the easiest pick that he made. Not out of degree of difficulty, but just reading his eyes. Like, he's staring down the receiver, and you can't have that. But enough. Let's have some fun. Let's look at some of Drake Maye's best throws from the intermediate portion of the field. I titled this intermediate laser beams because, like Justin Herbert, he has that, like, really, really gaudy, like, accuracy when it comes to throwing, you know, in the intermediate area. Like, those are the throws that Drake Maye hits at a very, very high percentage. Those throws, 10 to 20 yards to 25 yards at a time. And again, he can just drive the football, right? He can just drive the football. And it's crazy because the same people that love Jaden Daniels never acknowledge that. Jaden Daniels cannot drive the football. He does not have the arm strength to consistently drive the football. Similar thing with Bo Nix. Bo Nix and Jaden Daniels are anticipation throwers. Caleb Williams, J.J. McCarthy, Drake Maye, and Michael Penix are flat out, they can drive the football. They can throw with anticipation, but they don't need it. They have the arm strength to make those throws. If I had to rank every quarterback's arm in this draft as far as strength, I would go from least to first. I would go Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, J.J. McCarthy, Caleb Williams, Michael Penix, and Drake Maye. I think Drake Maye has the strongest arm in this class. Actually, no. I think Penix has a stronger arm. Yeah, Penix has a stronger arm. But again, like, you see the hierarchy there. And yes, people will say Caleb Williams is the third strongest arm in this class. Well, Caleb also has the best accuracy in this class. So it really doesn't really matter, right? Like, and again, you're splitting hairs there too, because all three of those top three guys, Penix, Maye, and Caleb, they also are accurate. So, the arm strength, also, benefits from that. But again, like, you're seeing the ability to really drive the football. I keep harping on it, but it's very important, especially NFL level. Those passing windows do not stay that open in the NFL like they do in college. These defenders are smart. They've been playing these coverages for years. They literally, are baiting, especially against young quarterbacks. Defensive coordinators purposely try to confuse them. So if you're going to be a young quarterback in this league and you're going to be, a young franchise quarterback, like not just a starter for a year or two, like someone is drafting you for at least 7 years worth of good quarterback play, you have to be able to throw the ball in the intermediate part of the field, over the middle, outside, right? You have to be able to make those layered throws like here for the touchdown. Like, you have to be able to make these throws, and Drake Maye can make literally all of these throws off platform, right? I mean, Drake Maye's ability to make these kind of throws, they don't seem like much because, he does have a few later where he's running and doing it. These plays don't seem like much, but it's not normal to just throw the ball at these types of angles. Like, be off platform, off kilter. Like, this is a really good example, right? He's facing blitz, people about to crush him from both sides, and just look at that ability to even pump fake it and then make that throw. Like, that's nuts, bro. That's nuts. Like, that's not normal. Same thing here, right? Blitzer coming, another guy with pressure in his face, fade away jump shot to the end zone. Like, the arm talent is tantalizing, and I get it, right? I'm not gonna act like I just didn't say, the mechanics are a problem. They need to be worked on, they need to be fixed. They do. But when you can make plays like this, which, by the way, just like the Caleb Williams play, kids, do not try to throw left-handed if you're a right-handed quarterback rolling left. Don't do it. But if you do, make sure you complete it like Drake Maye did, right? This play is just sick. Rolling to your left, throwing over the top, right over the defender's helmet. That's sick. That's a really tough play to make. But again, these plays are why you take Drake Maye high in this draft. I get it. The aura, the mechanics, all of that is kind of disheartening, right? There's also a little bit of rhetoric out there. Well, he's a North Carolina quarterback, so he can't play. First of all, if you're doing this, like if you're doing this scouting thing and you're scouting helmets, you need to reevaluate your scouting. There is no metric. There is no sample size. There is nothing that says because so-and-so went to a certain university, he is going to be good or bad. Just because a player comes from Alabama doesn't mean they can play. Just because a player comes from App State doesn't mean they can't play. The tape is the tape. The tape is the tape. And as you guys are seeing on this Drake Maye tape, Drake Maye is a talented motherfucker. This dude can throw the shit out of the football. Period. And don't let anyone on any 4-letter network, on any, Twitter, on any Instagram reel, TikTok, tell you otherwise. The dude can throw the football flat out. And again, this is a player that if he reaches his potential, he'll be a top 5 quarterback in this league. I want you guys to remember Josh Allen. Think of how broken, how, unpolished, how unrefined Josh Allen was coming out of Wyoming. As we end, the session with, the deep ball portion. And this is the last little dialogue on that. Think about how unrefined he was. And then look at how Drake Maye is now. You can make the argument Drake Maye is better refined right now than Josh Allen was. And you mean to tell me this guy's the 6th quarterback in this draft? You mean to tell me this guy is Christian Hackenberg? You mean to tell me that the Minnesota Vikings are going to trade up for J.J. McCarthy and not Drake Maye? You mean to tell me that Jaden Daniels is going 2nd overall and not Drake Maye? Good luck to you. Done with the dialogue. I've exhausted myself. I felt myself getting upset. So we're just going to focus on the tape, right? That's why we're here. That's why we're all here, right? We're all here to have some fun, listen to me and watch the Drake Maye film session. And when it comes to the deep ball, this dude can really, really lay it out, bro. He can really put it out there. Like, he's got the ability to, lead it, with some air on it or under it. He can float it over the top. He can fire it, with conviction. He can throw the ball, like fast, basically. You guys get what I'm saying. Like, throw the ball quick, get it up there quick. He can float it. Like, he can throw the deep ball any way he wants. And I think the key thing is on the deep ball, he doesn't normally let the defense rush him. There are times where he has to, rush his release. But look at how he winds up here. He's like, okay, I got it. And he's got the arm strength to be able to get it up there, even with the slower release. Right? Because, a lot of these anticipation throwers like a Bo Nix or Jaden Daniels, they got to get that ball up quick. Or else that ball might not get there. Right? Drake Maye can take his time because he has the arm strength to do it, as far as the mechanics go. And again, like, the deep ball is very, very impressive. Like, this throw is from about the 32. It lands at the 28. Right? Like, these aren't just, someone's wide open. No, he's got to lead these receivers. He's got to continue to lead them open. Right? And he really, really thrives at that. I love the, chemistry that him and Tez Walker had this year on the deep balls. They were really in sync, especially on this Duke game. Right? Like, the deep balls were awesome to Tez Walker, and it really showed his ability to really throw, down the sidelines. Because, again, see a lot of the deep balls are, splitting the hashes or, down the middle of the field. Those throws are cool. But those throws down the sidelines, those are the ones that make the M's, right? Those are the ones that get the big bucks. You can hit the, receivers, down the middle of the field all day. Those throws are cool. But those throws down the sideline, those are the really tough throws. Because when you throw that pass, the defender immediately has more advantage. He can not force the receiver. He can't force out anymore. But the defender can pin the receiver to the sideline. So the ball's gotta be perfect. If you're throwing it to the middle of the field, you have some leeway. But throwing on the sideline there, you see, if that ball's not there, that's not caught by Tez Walker. Right? Again here, Drake Maye, when it comes to throwing that deep ball, it's awesome. Right? His ability to consistently hit the deep ball. Also like how aware he is on this play, right? Noticing the defenders aren't set, so he's got basically a free play. Just fires that ball. Look at that spiral. My gosh. All right, beautiful. But again, with Drake Maye, when it comes to the deep ball, I love just how he can just fire the football with conviction. With he's got the really, really good throwing power, and most importantly, he is not afraid to let it fly. Right? It's not like a question of arm strength or can he anticipate? Nah, I know that. That ball's getting up, it's getting out of there. Drake Maye is a very, very impressive player. He's one of my favorite players in this entire class. He's been that really since the summer. Obviously I love Caleb Williams. I think Caleb Williams is going to be, a top 3 quarterback in this league one day. But I think Drake Maye should be right behind him. Right? I think this young nucleus of quarterbacks we have had the past 2 years, Caleb Williams, CJ Stroud, Drake Maye, Bryce Young. Yes, Bryce Young. I think Bryce Young's going to have a really, really nice bounce back here. Those 4 guys are going to be 4 of the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL in the next 5 to 6 years. I really believe that. Here's a look at Drake Maye's scouting report. You guys can read at your own leisure. I already read it, not going over it again. Here's a look at Drake Maye's career stats of the University of North Carolina. And yes, you guessed it. We got some tape on Justin Herbert and Josh Allen. We got to show the similarities in the game and how Justin Herbert's release is literally identical to Drake Maye, and how Josh Allen's playmaking ability and running ability really mirrors Drake Maye as well. Justin Herbert is more, he was more pro ready when it came to the NFL than, Josh Allen was. I think Josh Allen really had to develop and really had to, learn a few things from, being coached by Brian Daboll and everything on how to, really play the position right. But Justin Herbert was more pro ready, and again, very similar release, very similar pocket manipulation ability, and just the ability to just throw the ball on the move, right? Same thing with the similarity to Josh Allen. The athleticism, right? The body, the build, the mobility, right? You see that ability to drive that football there by Justin Herbert to Quentin Johnston. Same thing with Drake Maye. Have a clip of Drake Maye after this to show it. But that similar ability to really drive the football. You see how even in the NFL, those defenders are a lot closer, right? Drake Maye doing it in college against Georgia Tech. His ball's a little bit low, but he puts it there on purpose. Really, really nice, ability to drive that, throttle that ball down, I was trying to say, and, make it nice and catchable for only his wide receiver. Again, here against the Jets, Josh Allen, you see the ability to fire that ball over the middle. Now, Josh Allen, he's in a different class as far as arm strength. Like, Josh Allen pretty much has the strongest arm in the league, I believe. So, obviously Drake doesn't have that, but he does have, similar mobility, really similar, touch on the football. Also similar issues too. Like Drake Maye and Josh Allen are a lot alike in their, weaknesses as well as, some of the strengths. But again, with Josh Allen, the selling card for the comp for Drake Maye is the running ability. And you see, Allen might be a little bit shiftier than Drake Maye. Like, Drake Maye's not going to, really, put a lot of moves on people. But he does have the elusiveness to run around and buy people. So you have to, absolutely take him serious in that regard. And then you see the ability to, create within the pocket here. Could have went a lot longer on Josh Allen, but for time constraints, just use some clips from this game. And, this clip is very similar to the next clip we're going to see on Drake Maye as well. Just that ability to extend and remain a passer, but be in the pocket with it. Very, very important, especially at NFL level, because, again, you're not always going to be able to get around Micah Parsons or Myles Garrett or Nick Bosa or J.J. Watt. You're not always going to be able to get around those guys. Sometimes you're going to have to remain in the pocket and make plays to win. If you like this video, please like this video and consider subscribing to the channel. Have a blessed day.